Let's transition over to politics here because we've got the markets hitting all-time highs without legislative progress on tax reform and health care, two of President Trump's top priorities. In fact, Senate Republicans are now turning their focus to passing down what they're calling a skinny repeal, a slimmed-down, skinny repeal of Obamacare after another failing to secure the simple majority of 51 votes needed to pass a clean repeal of Obamacare with a 2-year delay. Does this go into your thinking in any way in terms of the challenges we're seeing in Washington as we see this market hit all-time highs? 7 Republicans voted down the measure yesterday, even though all 7 voted for repealing Obamacare back in 2015. 10 hours left to debate. The Senate's now considering this skinny repeal, which would eliminate some of the most unpopular parts of Obamacare, including the individual mandate and a tax on medical devices. If they don't end up passing anything, Daniel, what do the markets do?
So I think, Maria, it's going to depend on the sector. So technology, for example, you're going to need to see whether these companies can innovate on their roadmaps. Obviously, for healthcare companies, depending on how the actual laws get passed or don't get passed, that will have implications for them. When I think about healthcare policy, that's one element. Tax policy is, of course, critical, too, with the technology companies.
Right, so how much of all of this is priced into these gains is really the question.
I think a piece of it is priced into the gains, if I reference tax policy specifically, but much of it is still to be realized over time.
Still fundamental. This is driving it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Daniel, there's this view out there, maybe it's politically motivated, maybe it's I think it's emotional, that if they can't get anything done on health care, they can't get anything done on taxes. Do you have any thoughts on that? I personally think that one thing has nothing to do with the other. What's your thought there?
So I agree with you, Michael, that health care is a separate issue. I think what's important with tax policy is whether the government can come up with sensible policies that incent businesses to invest and make the right capital allocation decisions over the medium term. So when I think about and when we speak to companies at Neuberger, we're constantly trying to understand where they're going with their strategies. Tax policy is, of course, important, but we want to understand the fundamentals of their business.
All right. It's really great to have you on the program today, Daniel. Thanks so much.
Thanks,
Daniel
Maria.
Flax, Neuberger Berman. We'll take